until the lion learns to write. What you have known as Indian history is just one side of the story, edited and twisted by invaders. For the first time ever, Indic researchers unite with seasoned filmmakers to smash the biggest colonial distortions. Prachyam presents before you 10 Indic documentaries, a stunning perspective on Indian antiquity, sciences, and contributions to the world. We need your support to make this dream a reality. Our childhoods have been inspired listening to glorious stories of Bharatvarsh, times when avatars walked amongst us. But slowly and deliberately, all of it was whitewashed as mere mythology, and with it, our identity too. We were taught that there is no evidence. But what if it's right in front of our eyes and new age technology can prove it? Prachyam presents 10 Indic documentaries, a compilation of cutting-edge research that seeks the true dates of Mahabharata, Ramayana, and Indian antiquity. Your story is older than you think.
So thank you. So the lions have learned to write, and I'm happy to share this dais with some very learned lions here. I, again, have to make just 3 points, as we are rebooting into the new meta era, into the new age media. I think, we have to analyze very closely and we have to strategize, accordingly. First thing, moving forward, we have to remember that who we are. So as we move forward, we have to take along the imprints, of our great culture, the great tradition, the great heritage along with us. And we have to remember that we belong to a very great civilization, which is the oldest in the world. And we have to remember that, for example, me, as I sit here, I don't sit as an individual here. I carry a legacy of my ancestors. And those ancestors can be traced back, to a rishi, who is my Gotru rishi. And also, as I belong to a Guru Shishya Parampara, I am also a torch bearer of the legacy of my gurus and his gurus, and that can be traced to Adi Guru. So it is very important that we keep in mind as we move forward that who we are, and that actually gives brings along a lot of responsibility on us. That how we should move forward, into the new era, into this meta era. Second thing is, what are we doing? What we are going to do. We have to be very careful about what content we are going to create, what we will make, what we will churn, and what we will put out there. Because it is going to stay there for posterity. And we have to keep in mind that what will be the consequences and what effect will it have on the viewers, especially on the young generations, on the young impressionable minds. We have such great stories to tell. Such great people have walked this earth. We have such great rishis, great gurus, great munis, siddhas, saints, scientists, patriots, writers. There are so many stories to tell, and India has had a great tradition of storytelling. Yesterday I was talking to Swami Mitranand, he's here, and I was so delighted to know when he shared with me that, they are going to make a film on Adi Guru Shankaracharya. I was like, full of bliss, I said, these are the stories, this country and the world is waiting to hear. So we have to keep in mind, we have to be careful about what exactly, we are going to do, what exactly we are going to create, what exactly we are going to put out there. So we have to put stories, which are truly inspiring, which are aligned, with our values, with our culture, with our civilizational roots, so that, it can inspire the coming generations and align them, for the cause of Bharat. These great people, they can be the greatest role models, for, the coming generations. So their stories need to be told. Not, the role models are not those actors, who are dancing around the trees. I mean, it's a world of illusions there. So we have to keep a watch, on what content. Also, we have to keep an eye, on what content is being posted out there. And if we feel that, the content is not correct, then I think, we should, speak up against it or speak about it. I would like to mention here that there have been, content, which were part of a very false propaganda, which had a very sinister design, against Bharat. And one such content was a TV series called Leela. And Ramaji is here. I don't know how many people have seen Leela, but it symbolically talks about what I felt was, the Sangh. It shows, the organization is going to come in near future, as, it's showing, as a very dystopian, future for Bharat. And, they have come in power and they are abusing the power and, doing all kind of atrocities against the people of our country. So we have to watch out for such things, And I think we have to, speak against that, And I was surprised, that, the entire series came on, a very popular OTT, and nobody spoke about it, Nobody, even from the Sangha Parivar, spoke about it. And I think, they were very successful in doing what they wanted to do, to do the subversion, of the youth and to paint, such a picture of what they wanted. So something like this, we have to, as responsible citizens, of our country and also as media professionals, we have to, watch out for these things. What is the content which is being, put out there? How it's going to affect, our coming generation, our youth? Is it not going to, distort their worldview or their perspective, of things? Finally, third point that I would like to make is that so as we move, into this meta era, we need to, protect, our mental borders. We need to align our citizens to the right perceptions. We need to set up, properly aligned film and cinema schools, because no matter what, in whichever era we go, stories will always be needed. The implementations, the execution of the stories can be modern or ultra-modern or very advanced, very sophisticated. But the stories are going to be told and stories are going to be listened by people. So we need to invest in great storytellers, because our country has had a very, very great tradition of storytelling, through ages. So keeping in mind, what will be the consequences, we have to be aware, as we move on, into the next era, that what can be the consequences of what we do. We have to protect, the young generation, the unprepared mind, who can tilt to, unfounded narratives, which can be dangerous. We have to bring about awareness in parents. They have to wake up, to the reality of the new era. And also very important is, imparting the right values to the young. Because, the media 2.0, the VR, the AR, the metaverse, they can have very destructive effect, on the young minds. So we need to prepare our education and public discourses to engage, with such issues, And we have to be aware about the intellectual warfare, because ultimately it would be more advanced, very advanced, war of narratives in the coming future. So these are the things, what I had in mind, from my perspective as a filmmaker, that I thought, I should put forth.